Well, organizations are in trouble because the gap between an individual's values and the values of the organization is growing. There's reasons for this. One is we're living in a more pluralistic society than ever, so people have very different values. And we love to sort of talk people down. Of that generation doesn't understand the value of blah 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 blah. And we talk that way, but the truth is, it's not a problem. It's actually how we're wired, is to all value things differently, have different emphasis on different things. What that means for an organization, especially a healthcare organization, is that if you're leading with these values, they might not always match the values of your people that are working for that mission. So I think two things. One is to try to pick as altruistic a mission as possible, where you're really just there to benefit those patients, to provide excellent service, whatever that may be. A little bit general, but something that can then gather up the values of the coworkers. And then when you have to make decisions that you know, and this is especially for departmental leaders or service line leaders, you have to make a decision that you know is going to go against the values of a lot of your coworkers, to go ahead and talk about it. Because we don't, a lot of times we'll say, well, this is what we need to do, and they're just going to have to understand, et cetera, et cetera. You can take that approach if you want to burn out really good people who are here to do good work, and they just get put into those impossible situations. But a better approach is to say, hey, we know not everybody's going to agree with this. We know that some of you, this is, providing the best supplies in a medical situation is the most important thing to you. And we know when we're telling you that you've got to reduce costs, you feel like that's violating a value of yours. But we want you to know we're still committed to providing really excellent, this sort of language acknowledges that they may be feeling some distress about it, acknowledges a possible gap between their values and what they're having to do or watch at work. And when our values are violated without acknowledgement, it's hard to go back after that. It's hard to turn down our frustration level with an organization who regularly violates our values but never says, I recognize this is stressful for you. But when we have a leader who says, we're having to make these changes, we know it's not going to be great for everybody. We know some of you are going to be in distress about it, but we want you to know we're still committed overall to this certain goal or certain outcome. That acknowledgement goes a long way. There's one emergency room doctor in the middle of the pandemic who left her job, and she said, I think if my distress had been acknowledged, I could have worked there for 6 more years and continued to be miserable. So she's being a little tongue in cheek, but when we're acknowledged for our distress, we can continue. If you need a keynote on this topic or coaching for your organization, be sure to DM me today and let's talk about how I can help you.